Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Mom. I'm here to report the warranty management meaning and its components, inventory migration scope. Inventory migration is a mammoth project exercise involving internal team as well as many external agencies. Detailed planning, process, simulation, and training are the basis to ensure successful inventory migration exercise. First is project teams will consist of teams from all functional department, namely finance, legal compliance, inventory planners, IT, procurement, marketing, order fulfillment, and logistic and facilities team, and headed by a project leader who knows the original details involved in such a project. A similar project team is required to be set up at the 3PL service providers and 2. The project also calls for project sponsor from management to oversee and facilitate the project decision. In this article, we aim to cover briefly the various functions that are required to be planned in a project for inventory migration to give an inside view of the project. The project planning and execution revolves around the setting of a target date for startup operations. From the new facility after migration, all activities originate after this announcement. Normally, the transitions should be planned in a lean month or period when the demand of logistic supply chain is likely to be lean and the inventory in a warehouse is at the lowest level. First is marketing. Sales and other fulfillment departments would have to announce the plans to the distributors, channel partners, and the rest of the players in the chain and plan to increase the stocks at the forward location to cover up for the period of migration when the supplies are likely to get disrupted. The new location address and details would have to be informed to the markets. Next is procurement. Inventory planners and logistics will plan for holding required stock in the pipeline. Plan for a lean inventory in the warehouse by shipping out and liquidating stock as much as possible. Stop inbound shipments during the transition period and inform all vendors, suppliers, freight forwarders of the new warehouse location for future transactions. Legal compliance will entail registering the new facility with the authorities and obtaining the necessary license, permissions, and clearance from all statutory authorities concerned. This will have to be complied with both by the company as well as the 3PL service provider in their respective areas of location. Inventory process planning involves three major components. Firstly, the volume of inventory to be transferred has to be estimated. Some container loads calculated. This becomes the input for the rest of the major activities to be planned, including transportation planning, resource planning, determining lead times for inventory handing over at the existing warehouse, transit time estimation and time for receiving, and put away inventory at the receiving warehouse. Process planning would entail following activities at the existing warehouse. Step-by-step operation of inventory and the existing warehouse for shipment. The sequence of inventory handing over by the existing warehouse for shipping out. The process of accounting and handing over inventory, handing over documentation and sign off process. The plan should also cover the allocation of necessary resources, teams including supervisory and management staff. Transport management planning would have to ensure the transporter provides dedicated capacity and containers as planned without disruption. Sufficient arrangements for loading equipment and teams will have to be planned. The inventory loading plan should cover details of how inventory would be loaded in sequence and the documentation process. The documentations and loading information would have to be passed on the receiving warehouse electronically before shipment reaches so that the receiving teams can prepare the system and teams in advance with information on what to expect in each container. Next is receiving team operations. Would have to plan in detail to receive shipments, unload, count, and put away materials and upload the inventory into the system before declaring the warehouse ready to start operations and receive orders. It plays an important and critical role. Detailed plan will entail setting up of new location and transfer of inventory in the system of transferring the existing inventory database to the new service provider. Aspect of location change, layout change, or process changes would have to be worked out in detail, along with trials undertaken to ensure interfacing and data transfer. Insight with WMS at the new service of location. In a migration scene, resolving the inventory discrepancies arising from the transfer and ensuring 100% matching of physical inventory to the new system uploaded at the new warehouse location with system at the company's end is most critical to the entire operations. Thank you, and that's all.